What's up? I've been wanting to get on here for a while, but I've just been waiting for like the right guidance and timing and understanding to even like communicate anything to anybody. Not that I owe anybody an explanation of anything, but you know, like to take inspired action and to speak on something that you really care about. You know, you don't just like open your mouth for no reason. You've got to be inspired, or there has to be a right time for you to feel that call or that pull to address anything or to discuss anything, to have an opinion or motivations of any type. Going to the lake. So, if you saw my last YouTube video, I talked about, well, my intention was to talk about partnerships, but I think, I'm trying to tighten this, there we go. But I think people who I know that what people see and interpret is a reflection of them, not me. But so I know that, like, you know, people's projections are of themselves and whatnot. And I think someone who saw my last video, or anybody who did see my last video on YouTube, that might have had a preconceived notion of what I meant by, I said at the end of the month I could be married. Who knows? I definitely am open to love and relationships and all the things. I'm not desperate to that though. But what I did mean was, this is Libra season. It was like a Libra Aries axis season. And instead of going from an I standpoint of like an me, myself, and I, Libra, which is Aries, Libra is we, our, not mine. And so I really was more reflecting on the fact of like partnerships in general, knowing that it was going to take a partnership of some kind for me to make some changes. And I also knew that it might not be the first partnership, or might not even be the second partnership, and that the whatever, you know, was coming might take a couple different shots. And so I wasn't asking for anyone to come and save me. Like, I've learned a long time ago that that's A, not ever going to happen. We don't live in a fairy tale. And B, we're whole people and don't need to be saved from anything. Like, all of our answers and, you know, everything we need is from within. And C, I just was talking about like partnerships and leaning on others, and that is important as far as like, you know, being part of the human race. That has nothing to do with needing to be saved. That's called appreciating support and recognizing that support is a necessity to live. Like, as a matter of fact, you know, there's like a baby couldn't survive unless it had support. And just because we're whatever age we are doesn't mean that we don't need support. And actually, we need more support sometimes. You know, but it is important for us to know like what we need and what type of person that might be able to provide that. Because we're not, even though we're whole, we have more of certain parts in us than other people have in them. You know, like there might be, coming out of like this Capricorn stuff that we've been in lately until next year, I think it is, it's a lot of worker. The Capricorn's the worker. And so if you're not work, it's very hard to feel adequate. sometimes. It can for some. I mean, that's just one example, but, you know, we all have those different needs, and mine at this time is to have some partnerships. I do believe my need is to have some partnerships at this time. Also to go within and be alone. So, do I need to be saved? No. Maybe I need to help save some other people. Like, my point is, or my goal is, how am I to be of service? How can I serve? I was in a car accident in January, and now, like, every time it was not my fault. It was a hit and run drunk driver. But every time I go to that intersection, I think I could have died here. Or not even that. Like, I wonder, like, we could die any minute. I could die right after filming this. So every time I'm in that intersection, I have this, like, weird feeling. And I had it the other day, but it was, like, other dimensional. And I felt like I was just talking to spirit. Like, I felt myself leaving my car and exiting the car and seeing me not be in existence anymore and being in spirit or talking to spirits or spirit guide or God. And I really feel like the spirit guides were saying, no, you're not coming home now because you haven't served. We need you to serve, or I need you to be of service. And ever since then, you know, like, I know that is clear. Like, I want to be of service. I've always wanted to be of service. I've offered many of my services for free in the act of serving to my detriment. So I'm no longer doing that because, you know, I just can't. But I can still decide or figure out how I can serve and where I can serve and who I can serve for. And because I have other parts of me that some don't, like, I'm more, I think, spiritual, open to other things, sensitive, intuitive. I wouldn't say that, like, I mean, I guess I do get messages. They're just not in the ways that you think that someone gets messages. It's just so interesting. But, so because I have that a little bit more in me than some other people may have in them, maybe I'm the partner they need. Maybe what I see is something that they don't. And so even though everyone is coming to the table whole, there's still partnerships and relationships that can form to not only have that whole be its own, you know, third dimension, but imagine two wholes coming together and they add just so many more dimensions and elements to the wholeness. It's crazy to think about. It's like several different worlds combined. So imagine a bunch of different worlds and them all being whole, but also all coming together. So, I guess I had a bunch of intentions for this video, and I might have to expand in different videos, but I did want to kind of talk about how me knowing my astrology and the astrology in general has helped me kind of hang on when I might not have otherwise, but I knew like what was coming. I knew how to prepare, or potentially what could be coming, or how I might feel about something that was coming. And that feeling was fear. Fear. A lot of fear and anxiety. And, but because, again, I know how to use the astrology, I went with it. And I guess the best way to put that is, like, trust, flying. Like, when I was little, I used to have dreams that I was flying. You just lean and you would fly. You would trust. And I stopped having those dreams, and I also stopped feeling like I could fly. And following astrology helps me feel the freedom of flying. And I mean that by trust. Like, I know what the astrology is saying. I don't know what that looks like. I mean, it could look like so many things, because we are indeed, you know, a manifestation. Sorry. We're a manifestation of of us. So my flying to me looks like leaning into the trust of what I know in astrology and using it to support me. It is my support system, and it's also my solar system. It's a system that guides my soul. It is quite literally a solar system, you know? So why not use it for guidance? It's there. Like, it's a system for our soul. And it helps me feel like I'm flying, even though I'm scared. I know that, like, I have to have faith and trust, and that is indeed where I'm getting it from. So I think the more information we have about that, the better. And I mean, I've been learning astrology since I was 7, and I'm learning so much. I have so much to learn. And people that learn or that teach astrology are even constantly learning all the time after decades. So, I mean, I've never taken any formal training, but I'm definitely self-taught. But I spend days and days, hours and hours, actually probably weeks and weeks, studying it every month. So, it helps me feel like I can trust, and even though, like, I know I am divinely guided, I do believe in God. I do believe in, you know, the Holy Spirit, and I feel like the Holy Spirit is carrying me. So, if you're interested in figuring out how to feel a little bit more free, less scared, I have been considering offering like a membership where either I do tarot. I love doing tarot, just like a past, present, future sort of thing, because I think the past really, like, once you connect with that, it's like, okay, yeah, I felt that in the past, the present as well, and then the future gives you the optimism of, okay, well, I know this feels right from my past and the present, so let's hope that that future I can trust in as well. But aside from the tarot, you know, it's the astrology, and I do like combining them, but astrology for sure is important. And, you know, it doesn't misalign with the Bible. What does misalign with the Bible is people running around in society saying that astrology and tarot is evil, because that's not the case. As a matter of fact, in one of the Bibles, one of the first Bibles, the first Bible, it said, in the beginning, the gods, plural, created the heavens and the earth. Heavens and the earth. And so, you know, yeah, things have happened in the Bible that are written in the Bible. Things have happened in astrology that astrology said would happen. And a lot of times they go exactly together. So when you have a brain like mine that recognizes pattern after pattern after pattern after pattern, you learn to trust the pattern. So, anyway, if you are interested at all or think at all that a membership would be good, even if you're not into the tarot cards, maybe you might be more into, because I'm still learning like what all the cards mean in tarot. Just because you're divinely guided doesn't mean that you know everything. So there's again, I'm constantly learning. But what I do know, I would like to share, and how I can support and serve you, I would like to do that. I'm also super into nutrition and health and wellness, and I use astrology for that. So if you have a health condition, we would use so many elements, it's not layers, to figure out some guidance, some support systems for you specifically. That's why things don't work for everybody. We don't all have that. You know, there's actually some comets and some asteroids that, and your chart alignments that say whether or not you might struggle with an eating disorder or that you might struggle with addiction. So I've always been a super compassionate person. I feel like most of the time, like I see the need for compassion for others. But when you know in the astrology these things, I don't have any hate towards anyone with an addiction at all. I don't care what the addiction is. Like, you know, I have compassion for that. Or anything else that a human might be shamed for or feel shame for. That stuff's in the charts. So self-forgiveness comes first and foremost. Self-love comes first and foremost. So I really want to help people maybe have some self-compassion and yeah, I mean, nobody's coming to rescue you, but there is support. And just a little sidebar, like my horoscope said I'd probably have a couple different relationships, short spans, and I did, and the astrology said they probably wouldn't work, and they didn't. And one of them wasn't romantic at all. It was a business partnership. And my horoscope also said I'm probably going to move a couple of times in the next couple months, and I have in the last couple months, and probably will in the next couple months. So, I mean, can you imagine not knowing that and feeling incredibly unstable? Like, what would you do if you had to move and move and move and move and move and didn't know that that was coming? That is what has been going on for me, like since 2008, really, but actually, because there's so many alignments that overlap. So it's really been since like 2017 that like my soul was crushed. Part of it was that, and then like learning how to just lean into the divine and what is best for us and for me. So yeah, like moving. People on the outside would look at that as unstable and whatever else they might say or think. You're a loser. You know, you live on your ex-husband's couch. You haven't paid your taxes in the last 2 years. What else have they said? Like all these things that were really mean. I did get my taxes caught up. The next year I made way more than I did the 2 years before combined. And I've been following my heart's desires ever since. And I have hurt no one in the process. There are things I would change, but you can't change anything. All you can do is go forward with the new information that you have. So I quit the job that I just moved to, and I was there a couple of days, had my partnership, and learned my boundaries, more boundaries, learned more about what I do and don't want. And I'm at the lake now, getting ready to go throw some lines in the water. So, and I know the future is going to be a lot of like, I don't know what is to come, but I do know love is in the future. I do know that I'll be moving. I mean like soulmate love or healing love. Like it could be self-love. But it's definitely healing. Something's healing, and it's either profitable for money or love, and I'll take either, because I love myself, and I would like more money so that I could fish more, because I want freedom. So if you want to learn how to fly, send me a message and I'll see if I can help you. Have a good one. I think that's a lizard on a turtle's back. I made it to the lake. Didn't catch anything. I was only here for 20 minutes, but it was enough to get a fix. Saw my friend Tom. He's struggling, and I listened to him, and he said thanks for listening. So it felt like a win to be here for such a short period of time. Hi, Mr. Turtle. And lizard? No way. Is that really a lizard? Hold on, let's see. No, it must have been. Maybe he had an owie on his back. Bye, turtle.